The adult beverages are poured, the kids are asleep, and it is time for New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers trying to figure out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 10-month-old.
And I'm Jeff. I got a 5-year-old and a almost 3-year-old.
And a week of updates after our last week's episode. And I guess in many ways, we should start with a summation of what transpired last week. But before we get into that, we'll do a quick update. Just generally, Jeff, how was your week in fatherhood and gaming?
Fatherhood, it was okay.
Don't talk about the one training thing.
Yeah, no, I won't touch on that.
Okay, because I want to save that for the update.
No, but otherwise, we're into a couple. We took monkey nastics, which is a gymnastics course for my youngest.
What genius thought up that name?
Well, I know
Monkey-nastics.
because he can't even pronounce it, right? He goes monkey nastics. Like, it's just say a course that the kid that you're targeting can say.
I get
Should be good.
I get it. It's just like that, man. That feels like it's trying a little bit.
It's probably a branded thing, so you can't copy it. Don't even try.
I assure you, I have no interest in copying that.
Yeah, no, we have that, and swimming lessons took over for a bit, and we got a couple birthday parties coming up, so just preparing for that. But I won't touch on the other items at hand. We'll save that for later. But otherwise, it was good. Gaming-wise, I dove into a couple other demos and games that one was Final Fantasy 15, but I don't know if you want to talk about that now, but so let down. But anyway, I'll go into that detail in a little bit, but good time gaming, got some time alone, and the kids were off to bed pretty early, so good in fatherhood and gaming. But how about you?
Yeah. Okay, so we're terrible at these shows because my gaming update would so perfectly fit into the update from last week.
Of course it would.
So I'll get to that shortly. I played a lot, but as a summary or as a preview, I played a lot of Street Fighter V, and I'm terrible at it. I'm really bad at that game. So bad at that game. Yeah, I played it otherwise like a little bit of two dots on the phone and experiment with a few other things. But in some way, I think I was spending a bit of time on my phone trying to find something with a good amount of depth, but a decent amount of approachability where, it could be something that's casually ongoing and that would keep my interest. And I was thinking of something like, and I don't know that it fits into casual, but something to the effect of Don't Starve or Spelunky or Sunless Sea.
Oh, yeah.
Which are all kind of generally, I think they're all procedurally generated. I'm not so sure about Sunless Sea.
I don't think so, but
yeah, the other ones, and just that one where it's just kind of it's you versus like the environment, and you keep on going and you keep on getting to go. I think there's one Downwell seems to kind of fit that bill, but it's a bit more arcadey than I was looking for. Search continues all the time. I don't think I've quite found it. With two dots. Go ahead.
I downloaded. I didn't mention the Hitman Sniper thing because it was on sale for like 99 cents. Oh, no. Man, it's worth 99 cents. Like, it's fun, but
is it?
It's like
Hitman Sniper. So it's not Hitman. Hitman Go is the one where he looks like a chess piece, right?
Yeah. No, this is like you're just sniping. So there's like this one level, but it's got multiple things going on, and you have to do certain like missions. So you have to snipe one guy without the guard knowing and hide. You don't hide the bodies, but you have to like snipe them into the pool, so it's not like, or like turn out the lights by shooting the power and stuff. So it's
you have to shoot the bar open sign so he gets thirsty, and then he walks over. He goes over.
Blinds down. No, but it's worth 99 cents. It held my interest for about 3 days. Then I had to delete it. I had no room. But anyway. That might be worth a while.
3 days for 99 cents. That's not bad.
Yeah, it's like coffee.
There's a humble there's one of those humble bundles specifically for mobile, and one of it actually included the Lara Croft Go, so like the chess piece version of Sullivan. That alone looked pretty interesting. But I think there's like this list of other I think there's like 10 titles that ultimately comes in for like about $6.
Nice.
It's pretty, and given that recent search I just had, like it felt so like. So pointed, like, hey, I heard you looking. We got this like fresh batch, not that expensive, and there's charities. Yeah, fatherhood. The kid is in a weird place right now.
Oh, that's awesome.
Because it's as if his ambition outstrips his ability.
Okay, yeah.
Where I think a lot of the current stuff is kind of boring him. It doesn't help too. He at a base level, he's sick. So he's had a bit of a cough and almost like a fever, but not really. Hard to describe. He's not been well for a couple days, and yeah, he's just at this point where he is like almost like standing, taking steps. He's quite good at like his dexterity is getting much better, and his reasoning. You can see like that development of it, but it just hasn't. So it's like he's developed enough to be bored of certain things, but he hasn't developed enough to find out other things to do to be happy.
Right.
So, like it's this weird like cycle of just him boring himself and like being upset about it.
Right.
So yeah, and it just tends to be on a bit of a roller coaster as far as emotions, because one moment he'll be happy and playing and then just plummets down into upset. But then a ball rolls by and he just like skyrockets up to happy again. Like, what is this? But yeah, I don't know. From my experience now as a dad of like 10 months, it feels as though it's just like it's kind of just this weird point for him, and it's something he would grow from or grow out of. So curious to see what it is, but it made for certainly a difficult week. Like it was definitely trying.
Yeah.
Which, again, the sickness of everything, like the sickness alone would, I think, be trying enough. And I think parents find it quite trying because
yeah, they're sick and then you get sick after they're good. And then, your partner gets sick and then it's like it's a cyclical thing. It's just a new sick appears.
Oh man. Cause cause I'd mentioned to you before the show, but like I'd taken a work trip, and just as the work trip ended, like I just fell off a cliff and got just the plague, like the worst plague I've ever seen. I was so sick, and I ended up being physically sick on the plane, which is
awful.
Imagine everybody at home, like imagine how horrific.
Let's not imagine. Let's not.
Imagine in your mind how terrible you would feel if you had to be sick on a plane. And then in real life, it's twice as bad. I guarantee it. It's so bad to be in that scenario. And you're just sitting there and it's happened. And you're like, what am I supposed to do now? I'm still in this little cabin in a box. The guy beside me was super, like, relatively compassionate. He kind of just like minded his own business. And when things were in the clear, he kind of quietly said, "Are you okay?"
He's patting your back.
Yeah, like, well, what would have been he played it perfect now that I think of it, because if he was over compassionate, like,
right.
oh my god, what can I get for you? What can I do? And I'm like, that wouldn't have helped. But if he was like under compassionate, like, you jerk, like, why? How dare you do this to me? So no, he played it pretty well. But anyway, so I came home. That's how ill I was. I lost an entire day. I was just feverish hell dreams for an entire day. And this evening, I'm finally starting to get back on track today. And my wife has now got the same thing.
Of course.
She's showing all the same signs of when it started for me.
See, that's what people don't know. It's like when you have a kid and they, like, especially when they go to daycare, it's called a daycare plague. They come back and it's a 3-week ordeal of just them getting sick and then transferring it to any other siblings and then to you and then to your partner and then back again because the immunity is lost. It's like, it
just morphs just enough to get you sick a second time.
It's like a video game when you hit something and you flash a little bit and then you're back to normal, you're back to solid. It's just, that's when it hits you again.
That's a perfect analogy. That's amazing.
Exactly what
oh man,
worst
so
ever.
Yeah, so we'll see.
Good luck to you.
Oh, yeah. If we can get out of this one, because this one's bad. Oh my goodness, you just feel like every joint is just like crying out in pain and just fever. Like, man, the bed was so soaked last night. Like, it was a swimming pool. I was sweating so bad.
Got you puking, sweating. You're just getting old and falling apart.
Just at the seams. I'm just ripping apart at the seams. I'm not in a good place. Yeah, like I said, thank God I'm feeling better. My wife was an absolute champ helping out, which certainly now, what's great is the timing. I told her if there's any silver lining, it's the timing, because you've waited until I'm better. So now you can, if we were both in that state, like I don't know what on earth you'd do.
You just
Like,
watch your kid just wander into the kitchen. You just take care of yourself. Just go.
Go, baby, out to the world. Bring help. Yeah, geez. Let's see. Yeah, I think I mentioned gaming. So yeah, onto the updates from last week. So when we last left our valiant new dad heroes. So quick update on the BMW thing. Yes. I'm not gonna buy it.
Oh.
My wife is she's really incredible, and like she would never stop me from doing something like that. Like if I was really heart set on it. She's always really kind in that way, as far as like, and I think we are to each other. Like if you really have your heart set on something, we'd let them go for it. But she just asked some really pointed questions and brought up some really pointed ideas around the whole thing, and it's just like it becomes really hard to defend being able to do it. So yeah, and then ultimately, I think it kind of exposed my own nagging doubts about the whole enterprise. So no old dusty beat down BMW for myself.
I'm gonna have to cancel that leather jacket I ordered you and BMW.
It was like the Ace or something on the back. like jokers like sewn on the sleeves or
exactly.
something like that.
How'd you know? 0 for 1.
0 for 1. But it's for the best. I think we'll see if some great fortunes come in the future, and I can. But it's probably better to wait for a true midlife crisis, right? Like we'll save that one. We'll
give it a couple years. Think of something bigger. Yeah.
When this show continues on and I'm fully bald, it's just like, you know what I'm gonna do this week? My kid's 14. Damn it! I deserve the BMW.
The same one. It's now 40 years old.
Yeah. So secondary update. So I'd like to clarify a state. So my statement was at the time, I wonder what it would take to become top 100 in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So I'd like to plead some ignorance.
No, this is your journey. This is your new career.
Man, geez, like do you know what it takes to be? It is on par with me stating something like, I want to become an Olympic diver. Like these people are friggin' elite, man. Like they're world known. Like they get invited to tournaments. Like there's websites talking about the top ranked players. The pool is massive. Like there's guys celebrating when they make like 50,000 or like 20,000. Like it's not. When I made the statement, I think it was more akin to me saying, "What's that?"
Top 100. Let's do it.
There's some part of me that almost wants to just stick to it and have that as this like overarching life goal and let that keep on rolling. Which, by the way, this would take years. Like this is not going to happen in like a matter of months.
Well, maybe it's like once you make top 100, you get the BMW.
That's
come on, make it two goals.
So I just got So I have this podium with 100 like stages down, and there on the top of that 100th podium is this like old ass BMW.
Yeah.
Out of it.
Yeah.
God, exactly. So I don't know. I think it was more akin to me saying something like, I don't want to like walk. In some ways, I don't want to walk back from the goals, but in the other ways, I don't want to stick to. Ultimately, it was an ignorant statement. I think it's more akin to saying like becoming like 100 or 1,000th place. If I was like 1,000th in the world, 1,000th.
How many players are there? Like, what's the ranking system? It's like 1 to. How many players are online? Like 50,000? I don't know. I have no idea. No clue.
Geez, that'd be a good number. I just know that like, yeah, there's so many. Like the community. No, the community is massive, and like the pro scene especially is so mature.
Those are all learning opportunities, right? It's not. Don't think of it as competition.
I got a lot of other stuff to do in my life. Like it's the type of thing I've always been curious about this and most other things. Like if you were able, like you're in some sort of point in your life where for the better part of like 4 years or 2 years, that was the only thing you had to do. Lottery comes in. You buy yourself a cabinet or like the best stick in the world and a coach, and for 2 years you do nothing but train for that. Maybe I wonder. Like it'd be interesting to see. As far as like a new dad gaming a couple times a week,
That's your journey. That's what's gonna happen. See how far
I don't even know if I want it. Like, it was a whim. It was a weird thought. Like maybe it'll be it might be. That might be a cool journey, I thought. And I'll say this: I've been playing the game. I'm enjoying it. It's fun. Like, I do like it. There's challenges to it, and you start to see the mechanics and all the things you can do. The depth is a little terrifying as far like apparently. So it's interesting with Street Fighter 5. Apparently, they've really lowered the bar, and it's one of the things you even notice all the pros talking about.
Oh, really?
I've joined the subreddit that talks about it. I've just started to watch some videos for education on it, and
you're watching with your kid. You're like, hey, look.
Yeah.
Look at all the pretty colors and the sounds.
Yeah, pew, pew, pew. My kid likes Ryu.
Of course, everyone does.
So but they talked about like Street Fighter 5 is a much lower barrier to entry, where 4 was like got super technical with all the various elements of it. And what's interesting too, there's a part of me that too, like I already had I had a pretty good discount code for buying number 5, but I thought I had 4 already previously, played it a bunch, enjoyed it.
Yep.
And I thought, okay, maybe I could just play that one instead and like kind of get a taste for it. But ultimately, 4 they're phasing out. They're not going to have that like on the pro circuit anymore. So it's just on 5 and like some of the older variants. So yeah, so dived in. Excellent. Like, it's a real fun game. Like, it loved its art style.
Yeah.
Visuals, everything else. Like, it's an incredible product. Certainly. It's kind of funny because it's actually only half baked. Like, they're missing a bunch of content. There's no like single player arcade stuff. There's like a whole bunch of missing stuff that they got in a bunch of trouble from the community. But
yeah, that's ridiculous.
So thus far, it's great. It's ultimately going to be a grind, because as you play, so they have this ranking system. I don't know if this is how it was previously, but every win you get, depending on who you're fighting, if it's a much higher guy or lower guy, you get points. So if you play someone who's like beat somebody who's much higher than you, you'll get like 100 points.
Okay.
If you beat someone who's like lower than you get like 5 points, right?
Okay. So you just need a couple of clutch wins and you're good, right?
Yeah, just 2 clutch wins and I'm in the top. So I just have to bribe, like.
Yeah.
So yeah, but so that's a grind ultimately, right? Because you're gonna lose some ultimately. Like, just like, you're gonna have some bad matches. So like, like win, like lose, win, lose. And there's like stories of guys who've gone all the way up and then just had like a 2 weeks of disaster and like plummeted down. So it'd be a grind. And besides just the fact that I suck, I reiterate, I suck at fighting games. Like, I'm no good at these ones. Like, so.
This was your goal as a new dad.
The goal, like, it just
to take on this challenge.
I'm not one to shy away from a challenge, but I'll say this, man. Like, I'm just not. It's all going to come down to that grind. At the moment, I'm kind of playing through some of the. They have these individual story modes. And I'm doing some practice stuff. Really interesting for anybody looking to get into it. There's actually this thread on Reddit. It might be featured somewhere else, but it's something called Geef's Gym. I think Geef's being a abbreviated form of Zangief.
Zangief.
But he gives it's an incredible like list down of all the basics plus some actual like practice sessions you could do. So in the game, in the training session, you can record movements for your opponent to do.
Oh yeah, okay.
So if there's a particular combo set that you just keep getting tagged with, like, you can input it and then just continue to defend and like counter it and figure it out. And he gives this like detailed list. I think he's up to like 20 lessons where you put in these special recordings that you practice that particular move like over and over to get the basics. So I'll say all that so far is being enjoyable. And if the grind of like actually like working on the ladder and fighting, like, because it's real life opponents, that's the only place where you get these points, of course. If that's fun, sure. This could be an interesting subplot for myself the whole way along. But what the problem is, like, if we get next month, if you ask me about this and it's just like I hate like every minute of it,
right?
Just I don't think I'm gonna. Like I said, I'm never one to shy away from a challenge, never have been, but I'm just also not going to throw away such precious time.
Well, you should level the playing field. We should create some sort of leaderboard that's just new dads, just parents. And you have to like prove it because you're so bad at it. You just that's a new dad. That's
and the list caps out at 100 people. So it's like, but there's actually, and some of the stuff I mentioned, the community is pretty interesting. It seems like it's, and I'm not used to engaging with these communities. I don't know if you are, but like you can.
Not really. I'm kind of in the bushes.
Yeah, right. Because you're spying from the bushes with the glasses. But yeah, no, there's actually these threads where it's like, hey, newbies, we're having a newbie night. We create these rooms of 8 people, and we just fight each other. And we chat, and we spectate each other's matches, and we learn. And we just like it's all about just. And I think they have a rule like if you win like 3 or 4 in a row, like you get kicked out. There's something.
Oh, really? Oh, because you're better. Yeah, you're not a noob anymore. You've graduated.
Yeah, it's like if you can get in, if you could just so consistently beat everybody else, like then you don't belong in that particular group of 8. Maybe you can switch, or you're just too great.
Yeah.
So it's that interesting kind of building community. Again, I've never really engaged in much of a community. Since I've missed the whole MMO thing. So
right. Well, that's interesting.
I'll report back. So at the moment, enjoying it. A little frightful. I'm telling you, if I get to 1,000 as opposed to 100, I think I would feel very happy with myself. 100 is more like
yeah. That sounds like you're shooting for the moon.
Yeah, that's like me saying like, oh, I'm going to be on a pro StarCraft 2 team.
Oh, that's yeah.
Like literally, like if you were, it's like saying I'm going to become a top 100 like StarCraft player. It's like you're just not, right? Unless you're 19 and you can dedicate like 20 hours a day, you're not going to do it. I feel that
you saw the reflexes, like
yeah.
Dad reflexes are good. Not knocking the dad reflexes. Like when your kid's like about to fall or something, you can leap into action. But usually you hurt afterwards. Like you're like, oh man, I totally busted something in my back. Or
yeah, but that's also special. Yeah, you're exactly right. Firstly, that's special dad adrenaline that only comes out when your kid's in danger.
It leaps into action. Yeah.
And then you pay for it for days.
That's it. You're on the couch playing Street Fighter 5.
Good. Now, correct me if I'm so that's my update. Now, for your update, to would you like me to intro it, or shall you intro?
Oh, right. Yeah. No. Last week we talked about. Well, I had 2 things going on, right?
No, do correct me now. That seems to be. I seem to recall you had a beige couch last week behind you.
Oh yes.
And I seem to notice that is a green couch behind you.
That's hilarious. Yeah, potty training went horrible. But it's not because the couch switched. That had nothing to do with it.
So I bet it didn't. Intro the kind folks into what you were decided to go through last weekend.
Okay. 2 things going on last week was we were going through potty training for my almost 3-year-old. And that consisted of like a cold turkey setup where you put them right in underwear. Diapers are no more. You follow him around. You tell him to let me know when you want to go potty. You give him water. You ask him again. Are you wet? Are you dry? Whatever. There's a whole system.
Just madness. Absolutely.
For 3 days. Actually, we got extra days because there's a really bad ice storm on Thursday. So all the schools were closed. So we got the extra day of madness, which is good and bad because we could concentrate again on potty training. Anyway, it went really well for the first 3 days. Like he stuck to it. He had a couple accidents, which, fine, whatever. He was dry through the night, which is insane. Like that is a big accomplishment for him. And then he had a couple number 2 accidents, which in underwear is not the best. Because, okay, I don't want to gross everybody out, but you talked about puking on a plane. So
hey, this is bad gaming, okay? Like
that's true. That's true.
This is real talk. So
you
talk about caca. Let's do this.
Okay, let's talk about poopsies. No, it's okay. In underwear, in a diaper, it's totally different. It just kind of like it lays out in a diaper. In underwear, it just because the way he's sitting and the way it's formed, it's just a big pancake. Just imagine a pancake on his butt, and you have to change him, but you have to show still that the poop goes into the toilet. So you have to somehow levitate him above the toilet and peel off the underwear and roll the poop down into the toilet. So he still understands that no, the poop doesn't go in your underwear, it goes in the toilet. Even though it's in your underwear now, it's still going in the toilet. We're not throwing it out like a diaper.
Wow, it's like that's at that age, like it's not enough to explain it to them. They actually have to see the physical action.
it's probably just a supportive thing to it. I'm sure you could just explain it, and they might go in one ear out the other. It's probably like a kid to kid thing. My kid is not focused that way, so a visual helps. It's gross visual, but it helps. So he had a couple of those, which is just awful at this age with what he's eating, and it's not as clean as what came before it.
It's baby poops.
Yeah, it's gross. So he's okay now. It's just he's got a couple accidents. We're still on him. He's not fully there yet. So our 3-4 day cold turkey thing is still kind of continuing. So we're on 6-7 day. That's fine. We'll get there. Didn't have any accidents on the floors or couches or anything, so don't worry about this couch switch up.
Yeah, so for folks not on the video, last week Jeff he was explaining this to me, and it was just, I was looking at his house behind him, and his carpet is this nice, clean beige, and he had this nice white couch. And he's talking about, we're just going to cold turkey take the diapers off my kid and let him run around. And it just is mental to me, like mental. I couldn't believe it. Bravery. And then he shows up this week and the couch has changed.
Couch is completely different. Or reupholstered. No, we got a new couch from a friend. So that's the couch switch. And a good thing he didn't mark his territory on the other couch, because that would have been a problem. But no, it's going well. Yeah. It's just, we're trying to get them there. His birthday's next week, so we're trying to get fully into there. But I find I'm carrying more stuff, like going around, like going to monkey gymnastics instead of carrying a diaper bag, which is relatively easy now, a couple diapers and wipes. You have to carry clothes. So clothes, underwear, wipes, diaper just in case, but it's bigger. I'm like, I don't want to go this way. I want to go the other way. So I'm hoping I'm seeing the light again, but we'll see. It's continuing. I will report back. I'm hoping he will be completely underwear, run around next week, no problem. So,
okay, so you think you can? Yeah, so you think you can break him by?
I will break his spirit. I will break his diaper spirit by next week.
And for your first kid though, like the 3 to 4 day worked. Like it
worked. He had a couple accidents after, but he was pretty good at it, and definitely no number 2 accidents that way. We might have had a couple in the room, which is another story, but that was like never mind. I'll explain that at another show, because that's a very involved one. But he was pretty good. The nighttime was another thing, so he didn't get that until a couple years after that. But that's fine. Like he can wear his nighttime underwear and wake up and be good all day. So we're getting there. It's happened again. It's just exhausting to deal with.
So we're talking about that today. Actually, that feels like one of the other huge hallmarks of parenting, where you can kind of relax and just enjoy things. Because like the sleeping through the night, like we thought about, like when Adrian started sleeping through the night, like our world changed. Like
big milestone. Yeah.
Like God, everything got so much better. Like just because he went to bed at 6 and he woke up at 5, and certainly that's early, but still, like just after 6 or like 6:30. You got it. Like you can clean, and then you
do whatever you want.
If you're really tired, you just go to bed, and then you yourself can sleep until 5.
And he's well rested, right? Like he gets a good night's sleep, and
so that was incredible. And we were thinking about like that next one must be when I was trying to think of it as something with eating, like maybe with bottles, but then you still got to cook for them. I think it was more. I think the next really you still have to feed them. I guess. But the next, just leave like a food trough out, and they can kind of go to it whenever they want.
With your dog food, just
exactly. You got my dog's bowl. You got my kid's bowl. Well, if he doesn't eat it, the dog will get it. So competition. But I was thinking the second most freeing thing after that must be the diaper changing thing. Like the thought that your kid of their own volition will just walk themselves into a bathroom and take care of business, and it doesn't involve you taking care of business.
Right. It's a great thought, right? I think one that comes before that is probably walking like without a stroller, because then you don't have to pack the stroller. That's a freeing thing, because you don't
Isn't
have
that a farce though? Like don't they just like get tired and you have to carry them anyways?
Well, it depends on if you're doing like a marathon or something. Like if you're just walking the mall, they can usually handle it, or get a mall cart. But
there seems to be two truisms around that. Like one is like if you bring the stroller, they will get out of the stroller and walk, and if you don't bring the stroller, they'll demand to be carried.
Correct. You can't win, so you just decide what you want to carry your kid. Or
how much do kids hate parents? Like just like we're just the worst people on earth, apparently.
Well, they're seeing how far they can push you before you snap, right? Like I'm trying to break him with his potty training. He's trying to break me mentally.
Oh, and then he almost had me today because he's biting.
Oh no!
And he's got teeth, a biter. Right? He's 10 months, but he has all these teeth. Like he has 6 already.
They're sharp too.
So and the problem is too, like again, like he's just at this point in his development. Like there's no recourse. There's no. Like we do our best to be like calmly like, explain like no that hurts, baby, no, like that hurt. Like we try like a bunch of different vocal cues to explain it.
Yeah.
But ultimately, like he's not. There's nothing for him to learn. It's just like so he just like so he's up on my shoulder, and he just like chomps down, like just kills. Like I'm imagining like I don't think you could have bit harder.
Oh.
And I'm just. Like just this red comes over my eyes, like, baby. I was like, what on earth?
You have to resist.
Oh man, it was just like, oh, that hurts so badly. And now I'm scared. Now I'm picking him up and holding him on my shoulder like I usually do, and I'm just like, oh god, he's gonna bite. Oh god, he's gonna bite me.
I've had my 2-year-old take out. Well, actually, no. My 4-year-old take out a neck piece of my back neck. Like he bit, and that's full set of teeth. And he had heavy punishment for that one. But holy, you've never felt anything but a kid's bite. It's just
That's that's terrifying. See, but at least again for me, at least like not at least like that's horrific. But I mean, at 2 years old, at least he can. I think they have some concept of like, I don't want to say punishment, but like still just like you can
something, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you can through explanation or action, you can convey wrongness. And at this point, I just can't. Like he doesn't get it yet. Like I think I hope he has some empathy towards emotion a little bit, but I can't punish him. Like take your toys away. Hey, Jeff, can you turn off and on your camera real quick? I've lost your visual.
Oh no. Hold on. I'm back. There we go.
Yeah, there we are.
Better?
Look at that.
I'm not frozen in time.
Classic turn it on, turn it off again.
IT department.
And actually, geez, you know what? He now he's like and again, I think it's part of his frustration. I think right now it's just a lot of that frustration because he doesn't know what to do with this like stage he's in. He's also punching.
Yeah.
He started punching me in the face. Just like
again, trying to break you now physically.
God. First he breaks me physically, then he brings it mentally.
Yeah.
But and it's not just like the slapping and like the hitting in the face, like as I'm holding on him, it's just like I'm trying to change you, or like I'm trying to do this, like and you're just punching my face. Like it's just...
You're not playing Street Fighter in front of him, right? Maybe he's trying to Hadouken.
His first words Hadouken. Hadouken. Baby, no.
Yeah, no, that's brutal. And they do grow out of it, but they need to go through that phase of violence, just straight up violence, survive in the wild.
I'm kind of happy to hear it. Well, so two follow-ups on that. So first, I'm very happy to hear you say that, because the part of me that worried is like, ooh, I wonder if little beautiful Sunny is just a little bit on the violence side. That's not going to be good at the same time.
No. The worst part is when they go to daycare and they've done that to another kid, and and they don't mention the other kid's name because they don't really want to single out anybody or get parents mad at each other. So you're like, oh crap, like that kid is old enough probably to repeat the name of my kid, or vice versa. And you're like, I totally know who it is, and that's gonna just suck at a birthday party invite or seeing them in the morning.
Oh, he did. I don't know if I mentioned it. He did that. He bit a kid at daycare.
Oh, see? Yeah.
Just crawled over and like, how? And at the time, he wasn't really doing it at home. And they asked us, like, is he doing this at home? And it's like, not particularly. And now it's like, yes, like all the time. It's like when he's not busy punching my face, like, yes, he tends to bite me a bunch. So sorry, the second, so firstly, wonderfully relieving to hear yours did as well, and it's like kind of a little bit normal. The second one is like I was wondering if it's, and unfortunately you won't really be able to answer me, but if it's just a male thing, is it just little boys, or do little girls go through a violent phase like this?
Well, just from daycare, yes, like girls have bitten my boys, but I don't know, firsthand. I know that from having two boys, they have a lot more energy, it seems, just from basic observation. Girls tend to, like in the classes that I've kind of gone and dropped my kid off, the girls are sitting at a table coloring or like putting stickers on a page or talking normally to each other. And my kid goes in with a Batman shirt, screaming, "I'm Batman!" And he goes around and just like flies around the room. He does a circuit, like he has to do it as a ritual. And then he like goes into his ring like a wrestler coming with pyrotechnics, and he's just up in some kid's face. Just, that's my car. That's those. I don't know. Maybe it's boys. Maybe it's just my kids. But there definitely is just a sense of. It's a different energy. I do think girls, though, still like just kids of that age, go through the biting and the violence for a bit, and then you curb that. But they test their limits. And yours.
Yeah, it's just, again, like it's just weird being a parent at this point, because there's just not, you're essentially powerless. Like there's just nothing.
No, yeah. Just wait until you get into like a grocery store and they're talking. And they talk honestly, like to other people about them, and you're just like, just shut up. Just shut up. Don't say his hair looks weird, or that guy looks like Santa Claus. Like those are, whatever, like bare minimum comments. He said some other worse things, but yeah. Do you need braces? Like, okay, kid, she's got bad teeth. Don't say anything.
Jeez. That guy looks like a nerd. Like, no, dear, please don't.
No, they're just honest kids. So wait until you get into talking. It's just you have to face that person.
Yeah. Jeez. Just like quiet
stress relief. Yeah.
Oh God, that's stress relief. There's just no end.
Nope.
But I think that was like the conversation I was having with my wife today, and I think it's just actually I could pose that as a question to you. Like, I think my assumption is that each new age brings obviously new challenges. So it's not like you surpass something and it's like, okay, well now it's fine. Like it's easy, right?
No.
But there's some part of me that assumes that like some of the worst challenges are front loaded. Like namely, like when you first have the kid and you just can't sleep. And you're desperate to keep them alive. And then now in the toddler phase when they're just learning stuff and they're still not sleeping or eating quite right. And you're going to, and then they figure that out and then they stop soiling themselves. Like at any of those phases, like obviously new things replace them, but I still think that like, would it not be that aren't those some of the most difficult ones, or do you find that like is it they've surpassed? They don't go to the washroom or need diapers. They kind of feed themselves nicely. I mean, you have to provide, but I mean they.
Still have to do
know what I mean when I say they're not making sandwiches.
Food bowl. Food bowl.
Yeah, food bowl. Thank you.
No,
sleep the night. Like, is that it? They sleep. Yeah. Do you find it like kind of harder compared to like say the 10-month stage, or do you think like generally it's a progression that's somewhat easier?
I do think that like in the beginning. So when you're laying the foundation where they're sleeping through the night, they're going to the bathroom by themselves, they can ask for a snack. Just talking alone is a great communication tool once they learn it. All those were very hard to get through and very exhausting for you to get through, right? So it's stress on you, it's stress on them because they can't communicate, can't, take care of themselves, which is the hardest part. I do think new challenges they replace those, but they're not as difficult. Like right now, like I have to worry about my kid, my oldest kid in school to see if, is he hitting those milestones for math and science and English. So those are different challenges that I can talk to him about, right? So I can communicate, as he's going around, punching a kid, I can communicate to him, right? Where those basics of him going to the washroom and sleeping and not talking to you are taken care of. Like, I do think that you're in the worst part. You are in the worst phase. It's
Man,
just,
laugh all you want, but that is really reassuring because it's just like
as far as I know, right? Maybe after 5.
check in
people
next year, and Jeff is
people out
just
there are like, yeah, just wait until they're teenagers, and I'm sure that it'll be a different story then. But
oh yeah,
like I
God,
think
yeah,
you're always going to worry. Like this, how your parents say that, we're your parents, we're always going to worry about you. And I said to myself, I'm like, no, once they're got the basics down, I'll be kind of loose and whatever. But you do worry all the time about them. Just like, are you doing enough? Are they getting enough? Are you reading? Are you, reading enough? You developing skills to get a job? Like, I don't know.
yeah. Like, what are you getting into? Like, yeah,
Yeah. So I don't
that
think
feels like a bit of a curve actually, because like where it's like the absolute like a dip, like it's absolute hardest at the beginning,
yes.
and then it
Yeah.
kind of eases off, and let's put that at anywhere from like 5 to like not like even 10, 12.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
10, like
Yeah.
8-year-olds, 12-year-olds, they're darling, right? And then they
Yeah.
just
Oh,
become teenagers, and it just feels like all of the like all of like the
steadily up.
God, all of the hormones that come in and the pressures that they have in school. The math
Hormones.
homework, I'm not gonna have any idea what the hell they're looking at.
Well, yeah, and then they have the ability to generate their own life at that point. So that would be a stress inducer.
We basically get to go through high school all over again.
Yeah, and that's gonna suck.
Hey,
I don't want to go back to school.
yeah, I don't want to go back to high school, man. Like it
Oh, the
was,
homework. I don't want to do homework.
oh,
I have no idea how to do this. Until you're on your own.
oh, high school. I hated high school homework. Like, easy to come back and like, I don't want to do this. I'm like, I know. Like, I
I'm gonna go
agree.
play Street Fighter 5. Hold on. You do your homework.
Yeah, I just agree. Like, don't.
Still going.
Nah, you got to do it. But I agree. I sympathize. The yeah. Just to wrap it up though, yeah. So you were. This is worrying to me. So you were disappointed in the new Final Fantasy demo. Is it 15,
Oh,
Final Fantasy 15?
yes. Final Fantasy, whatever they call it now. No,
Yeah.
15.
Damn, man, I wanted that to be good.
There was a previous demo called Dusuke, but you had to buy like Final Fantasy Type 0 to get it. So I never did. So I never played that demo. So they released this other demo.
So I pause quickly. So Type 0 was something you could actually buy. I thought that was.
I think it was a remaster or something, and it came with a Final Fantasy 15 demo code or something. Like it came along with another
available
game.
in North America, like Type 0.
Maybe not. I don't know. I wasn't interested in the game that they were pushing to get the demo, so I didn't.
So go on.
So they released this other demo, like kind of unexpectedly, to the public. They said, "Here's the platinum demo, available now," and it's like 4 gigs. I'm like, great. I thought it would like be 50 gigs, knowing Squeenix to load it with CGs, cutscenes, and stuff. But loaded it up, and I don't like the direction. I don't like. Okay, it plays like Kingdom Hearts. So if anybody hasn't played Kingdom Hearts, think of like almost like Mario going around with a weapon, and the enemies pop up on screen, and you have to fight them like you would real time, right? And I'm used to turn-based or even like active, but then you could pause and kind of figure out your strategy. I think Final Fantasy 12 had that, where it was active, but you can kind of slow it down.
I love the system in 12. That's one of my favorite Final Fantasy systems.
So this one, you just mash buttons to kill these little enemies, and it's I don't know if it's part of the game, like the final game, or if they're kind of giving you like more of a tech demo, but you're a little kid with like a plastic hammer, and you're going around fighting guys that appear out of shadows, exactly like Kingdom Hearts, like almost to a T. And I don't like the kiddish kind of stuff like that. Like I don't mind being a kid and going to this, tech world and fighting actual monsters and having magical powers and stuff. But it's literally like a toy hammer, and you're going through this dream that you're having that changes when you like hit these pads, and these pads change the day from, sunlight to darkness, and then it changes the weather from sun to pouring rain. And then you're going through, and this little animal character that is following you is squeaking to you, but the squeaks are transmitted to your cell phone in game. So you are this kid with a cell phone that's getting texts from an animal character. Does this sound weird yet? Does it sound like
the kid with the hammer fighting the shadow? It's like, yeah, that is
Yep.
Kingdom Hearts.
Kingdom
Like,
Hearts, right? Instead of the
what are
key sword or
you?
whatever.
Yeah, man, that's a weird decision as far as like the active,
Yeah.
like actual active combat as opposed to.
Yeah, and I don't like that. You're even collecting gems. So you're platforming, collecting gems to open up these little platforms that will change the day or change the location or whatever, or activate certain events. I and it was
Are you sure
choppy.
you got the right man? This is like
No.
hold on, no, but this is Final Fantasy 15, and it's like four bros in a car,
Yeah.
and they're
Well, you don't get
driving
that
along.
part.
Like how? What on earth are you talking
I
about?
know, and they don't give you any of that, and it's just
Wait a minute, hold on. So the demo does not feature.
the car or those
When was the
guys.
demo released?
Like yesterday, maybe two
Like
days
April
ago.
1st?
Yeah, yeah, it's not April Fool's.
Are you
I think it's March
absolutely?
31st.
Because there was a previous demo, and the previous demo, I saw videos of it. You were.
It was insane.
It looked like an active. It looked like an active, like the battle system from 12 almost. And you were the four bros, and you're running around. I think they even had some car parts that it featured. Like, I don't
Yeah,
know
and you
what
could like
you're
conjure
talking.
up and summon people. Not this.
Man,
No, so I don't know if it's. I'm hoping if they fix this or at least provide the option, because what ended it up like the final battle. Not to. It's not really spoiling it. It's just this big monster comes out, and you go from boy saying, I'm not afraid of my dreams anymore. And you grow up into this, like the person you see in the other demo. So you're
okay.
an adult now, you have a bigger sword and a couple magic spells. If you found the magic spells, like you need to go through
Hmm.
the world and find the magic that you're going to use, which
Okay,
I
so
don't
maybe
like.
hold on. So maybe
I like learning them, right? You gain levels, you grind.
let me try to give
Or
you a sliver of hope of what I think this
no,
might. No, you've decided you're out.
I just don't. I don't know.
So
I'm holding out hope. I want it to be good.
because that seemed because if you go back, go and watch some videos of the first demo, right, which looks like a more very
Yeah,
much a classic Final Fantasy style, and the thought
yeah,
that they would completely just throw out that system and go into this new real time plus like platforming stuff and things like that.
yeah.
I would bet that this is like a one off.
I'm hoping.
What's the snow world called in Final not like the playground theme park in Final Fantasy 7?
Oh, Golden Saucer? That
Yeah,
one?
it is a golden saucer like dream
Uh,
sequence as far as
I'm
like
hoping.
it's just like it's like a funny platformer thing that is only in the dream sequence.
That
Because
would
like
be
I'm not afraid
amazing.
because otherwise like it's just so bizarre
It's
that they completely
disconnected
throw.
from, yeah, like, and I don't know. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe they just sampled part of the game that was not a good choice. Do
Yeah,
you know what I
no,
mean? Like
I literally think that might be that dream sequence, or maybe there's a few more dream sequences that play like that. But it's just like hard to imagine that they would give up the battle system they had.
but why
And
put it out then? Like you're pissing me off. Like you just turned me off from the game, right? Like I know that's a risk with any demo, but holy, like it's such a disconnect. Like you're running around just smashing things with a toy hammer. That's not. You're trying to target an audience that's, I don't know, either nostalgic or a little bit more grown up, I
like
would
the
say.
battle, the boss battle, was it also fought with the older guy in the same manner, with the same?
You had a couple more options. So you had like you had a dodge attack and you had an actual like fire spell. And with that one, which again weird, your one sword, I don't know if you've seen it in a couple of videos, but you can fire it up vertically and just hang out. And so the enemies are way down on the ground, and you can just keep firing up this building
Hmm.
like vertically. Just keep going up and just sit there, not do anything. But you're supposed to find other stuff in the world to help you. So again, it's like I don't know. I don't like it.
I gotta check out some videos because yeah, that's some part of me that hopes that it sounds like such a like the platforming with gems feels like such a departure. That's so much Kingdom Hearts. It's like either a terrible April Fool's joke, or it's like I said, just meant to be a one-off dream sequence, which would be weird.
Yeah,
Then as
it
your
would be weird
demo,
to
because it's like
showcase.
just throw everyone off of what this is supposed to be a demonstration.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
The
and you have to do it because the little animal character that's following you around is Carbuncle. So you know the one you can summon in a different Final Fantasy. And if you don't do the demo, you don't get him in the actual game. which...
Wait, so if you don't play the demo, you don't get...
You don't get him. That's at least what people have said right now. They might just patch him in later, but that's kind of lame. And they're aiming for like 10 million units to make it worth their while.
10 million units?
Well, because it's been in like a decade of development. This thing was like announced 2005, 2006.
Good luck with that.
And I don't know how they're going to do it. When I'm not going to buy it, right? I'm their, come on, I'm their key audience. Let's...
you say that. All they need to do is to show a video, though, with... Sorry, speak so the camera's on you and then make that motion again.
Gimme!
There it is. Perfect. Yeah. All they need to do is show you a video with the proper battle system in, and I bet you'll be buying that game.
I am so worried for Final Fantasy VII now, though, the remake. Because if it's the same system, I am going to not buy it.
We'll see.
I'll probably buy it. I'll buy it just because it's Final Fantasy VII.
We'll put that on the board of promises and hopes that we keep bringing up.
You should, because that will be a struggle. To like go around mashing buttons to fight the weapons. I'm not gonna do that. I'll probably do that, but it's because Final Fantasy VII is different.
Nice. Hate to end on a downer, but I think that's
such a downer.
Such a downer. But I think we need to be wrapping up for the week.
Okay, I guess.
Everybody, I guess. You're just so down.
I could do a whole episode of Final Fantasy 15.
Maybe that'd be one of our first playthroughs. Just like a live reaction. I'll buy it on behalf of the podcast and just stream it as you play through it, enraged, as that couch behind you gets set on fire. I broke it in half. I was so pissed off.
Deal. I'll get your reaction. Like, what? Why?
Yeah. Oh, that is worrying. Everybody. Yeah. Can you hear the buzzer in the background?
Yeah.
Nice.
Laundry done?
That's the laundry done. it's the show marker. Well, everybody, at a time. The buzzer went. That's a laundry buzzer. Everybody, thank you again for listening in. We do this show weekly. You can subscribe to our podcast on all the usual podcast channels. If you have any questions, thoughts, or show ideas, please reach out to us at our Twitter handle at NewDadGaming or on our website, newdadgaming.com. Once again, we do this every week, and we appreciate the listening. And until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 10-month-old.
My name is Jeff. I'm holding out hope for Final Fantasy 15, and I have a 5-year-old and an almost 3-year-old.
I have a, what? So it's a 3-year-old, a 5-year-old, and a decade-old game that is just a decade-old game baby that I've been nursing and ready to set up for adoption.
I wanted to win. I want a good.
Great, man. We'll see you next week.
See ya.